Well guys, welcome back to the nest. Hope you're all keeping well. We're coming up very close to Halloween. I'm sure you're all very excited, free candy, and we're all going to be going out to parties and everything, dressing up. Still don't know who I'm going to be dressing up as. Let me get that. There we go, that's a lot better. Maybe I could go as this guy. Tonight's review is the next James Bond film, You Only Live Twice, guys. I gotta say, You Only Live Twice from 1967. This is the last movie reviewing in this year. Can I just say, I love this franchise. It's so enjoyable. I don't know if you guys remember, I may have said this, but I probably didn't say it, but I remember whenever I watched Frankenstein, the first movie we've reviewed on this channel so far, I remember what I said. I'm addicted. I'm absolutely addicted to all these movies, not just James Bond, but all these movies. Good old Sean Connery still manages to charm all these viewers, all the ladies. But yeah, I really enjoy Sean Connery's performance in this. This time he is trying to prevent a space shuttle from causing World War III. Basically this space shuttle keeps on capturing all these other ones that the government is setting off. However, before I go any further, the government is not setting off the bad space shuttles. I'll tell you who is. Agent 1. James Bond, I like how in the beginning he fakes his own death, but then I think he's in Hong Kong, then he's thrown into the sea, and he's taken in by by the service he works for, MI6. Permission to come aboard, sir? Permission granted. In a submarine. I don't know if I could ever be in a submarine. They look really, really fun. Going underwater, you could see all sorts of sea life. Then he travels all the way over to Japan. I really enjoyed the sumo wrestling. It looks brutal, that sumo wrestling. I've never actually watched a proper fight. I know this isn't probably a good time to have its first impression in a movie, but I guess it actually is meant to show what the brutality of sumo wrestling really is. He comes across Mr. Usato, who is actually working for the for number one. The president of this company died quite a while ago, and Bond actually manages to pose as the actual president of the company, but he is nearly killed. He just can't resist a woman, and he ends up kissing Osato's friend, Helga Brandt. Helga dispatches herself from the plane, but he manages to land the plane without killing himself. He very nearly dies by the plane smashing into the ground, but he comes across someone he met earlier on, Tiger Tanaka, and he actually has a ninja school, and he develops a romance with Tanaka's friends, Aki. Unfortunately, one of Agent Number One's henchman comes into the house at the night, and through a string, I never understood how he could just do it through a string, but he laces it with a poison. He must have tried really, really hard to put poison onto a string. And while he's asleep, Aki moves over slightly, and she ends up getting killed by the poison. I gotta say, I feel so sorry for Aki. I mean, she didn't really do anything wrong, but I guess that's just the way it is. At least she was willing to sacrifice herself for James Bond. We still need him. Still need the hero. Then the next morning, Bond decides he's going to be able to get in by a fake wedding. I actually was thinking, because of how Tanaka was putting it, he was going to marry a very unattractive woman, but it turns out that this girl is actually beautiful. Her name is Kissy Suzuki. It's one of Tanaka's students, and he decides to take her on a honeymoon over to the island, and it turns out that their base is in a giant volcano. How do they even get the lava out of that thing? Yeah, it beats me. But yeah, I would love my base to be in a big volcano. Number One shows how brutal he is by actually killing Brandt by throwing her into this pool of piranhas. I like how he has two pets, a cat who's absolutely harmless, big Persian cat, and a pool of piranhas. Piranhas are so brutal. They are able to strip the meat when they all come together. They're deadly. They strip the meat off like a capybara or something. Animals that are way bigger than they are. They could take on anything, I think. but I do know people in South America have stumbled across them many times. Obviously, you know, even though the island is located in the middle of the ocean, he keeps the piranhas in fresh water because they're a freshwater animal. They don't live in the sea at all. Pretty sure saltwater kills fish like that. Yeah, you actually can get piranhas as pets. I've never seen anywhere that sells piranhas, but I'd say they'd be very hard to keep. You'd have to feed them chicken and mice, and you know, because obviously they're carnivorous fish. In the I really love the dogfight that James Bond had with all the with those planes. And he was able to receive a very cool weapon, a cigarette for anyone who smokes too much. You press it, apparently you can get up to 30 yards with that cigarette gun. I was really worried that Suzuki was going to get killed, but you know, it turns out it pays off if you know how to pearl dive. Guess Tanaka has taught her well, because you know the plane was looking for her, but I guess you can never know if you're going to be shot, whether you're on land or in the water if a helicopter's targeting you, you know. But it turns out who number one is. You finally get to meet him. I don't know if you remember, but in From Russia with Love, I think I did mention, you know, it was Ernst Stavro Blofeld, who we never got to see. We finally got to see him. Quite intimidating, one scar, he's blind in one eye. Persian cat, I don't know if a Persian cat would be very scary to have as a pet, but you know, it's something. Guess it's a bit like Maleficent with her pet raven. I remember Sleeping Beauty. But it turns out that Ernst Stavro Blofeld is played by Donald Pleasance. I don't know if you remember, Donald Pleasance was that guy from The Great Escape who was so into his bird watching that he turned blind. God, I feel sorry for the guy, but in this, I don't feel so much sorry for him because he's an evil guy. But he is very smart. He knew James Bond was not one of their astronauts whenever he saw him getting onto the space shuttle with an air conditioner. No man does that. And he actually demonstrates the let me demonstrate the price of failure, Mr. Bond. And he shoots Osado. I don't know what that was meant to do. How did Osado fail him? I can't remember. I do know he killed Brandt by throwing her in with the piranhas. I also love how sorry, there's people in my house at the minute. I also love how Blofeld very nearly escaped. Like, he was almost going to kill James Bond, but ninjas started right in the hand. I was kind of worried how the ninjas were going to take on the fight because they brought swords to a gunfight, but I guess the henchmen thought, well, if he's going to use a handheld weapon, if he's going to use a blade, we're going to use batons. But you can't outwit the ninjas. And then Blofeld just decided there's no point, I'm just going to self-destruct the building. I was actually worried, you know, I got very uptight whenever the space shuttle was very nearly going to win again, but 5 seconds, Bond just decided, I'm not going to cut the wire, I'm just going to press the self-destruct button. But yeah, Bond wins as usual. I felt sorry for the cat, you know, he was having to sit through all those explosions and he looked like, get me out of here! I don't like all this! I'm a pacifist! Yeah, I guess most cats are. But anyway, yeah, James Bond managed to save the day again. I wonder, did Blofeld die during the self-destruction or did he survive? I can't tell. But yeah, I did really enjoy Donald Pleasance's performance in this movie, even though he didn't get that much screen time. Well, you didn't get to see him physically a lot, you know, just his hands and his cat. And I saw his ring, you know, he's part of Spectre, you know, it has that like octopus symbol in it. And then he lost his hitman due to James Bond as he fell in with the piranhas. Bon appetit! Oh, trust me, James, piranhas love human flesh. And I do love how, you know, James Bond managed to be with Suzuki. I don't know if, you know, he actually will stay with her because, like, he's been with so many women throughout these movies we watched so far. Like, this is the 5th movie we're on, and in the James Bond series, and you know, he's just a cool guy. He's good looking, he's cool, he's kind, he's smart, ambitious. He's such a way with the ladies. But yeah, I really enjoyed You Only Live Twice. The action was brilliant, you know, especially for a movie from 1967. Speaking of 1967, that's the end of the year. Obviously we're now going to move on to 1968. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this James Bond series. Obviously it did show at the very end that he'll return in the next movie on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I don't know when that reveal will be, but it'll be very soon. But yeah, let's go on to 1968 now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I very much look forward to it. I've checked through the set list. We've got a lot of good stuff for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Comment what you would like to see next in this marathon. I shall see you guys in the next video, and also don't forget to check out my TikTok, and if you haven't already, turn on notifications. That's when you know when there are more videos coming on this channel. But thank you so much guys for watching. It means a lot to you keep supporting this channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you all to death.